again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured. Brown goes inside. Oh, what a slam from Jaylen Brown. Oh, Pritchard banks in the three at the buzzer. Great in and out dribble. Oh, he set off the smoke detector.
Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome into your Celtics Source. Happy Tuesday evening in between games 5 and 6 of the NBA Finals. The Thunder took a 3-2 lead last night in pretty dominant performance, especially in that fourth quarter. Tyrese Haliburton suffered from an early injury in the game and just didn't look right throughout the game. Right, he scores just 4 points. All 4 of these points coming on free throws. He didn't make a single shot. He was one of the major reasons why they lost this game, besides the fact that Jaylen Williams and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just had monster nights. So I really wanted to take a couple minutes here to explain really what went wrong for the Pacers in that fourth quarter, and why I think, Rick Carlisle, he made a pretty big mistake in that game. We'll talk about that, and then in the tail half of the show, we will talk about Kevin Durant and what his future could look like, because I think he's probably going to get traded in, the next week or so. I'm thinking probably before the NBA draft. But we'll start with the game 5 of the NBA Finals, right? The Thunder in these last 2 games, they have found a stride defensively. They have been outstanding in these fourth quarters. Like they've been throughout the season. They have found a way to basically boost their athleticism, boost their effort, and just take out the Indiana Pacers, even when it looks like the Pacers are going to come back into the game. It looks like TJ McConnell is on a run. We're going to talk about TJ McConnell because I think that's where Rick Carlisle made the mistake. But the Thunder have just been too much. The Pacers, in the early part of the series, they found a couple ways to steal some wins. But the Thunder, I think the reason why the Pacers got those wins is because the Thunder, were a little young and they, were struggling down the stretch in the games. But they have found their groove, and I expect them to win Game 6 with the NBA Finals in Indiana on Thursday. But as for this game, like I said, Tyrese Haliburton is hurt. He, had trouble walking around. He went to the locker room early in the game. And of course he wants to play. It's the NBA Finals. But he was just so harmful to their offense. Just standing in the corner, wasn't even trying to get involved, be, aggressive. Like, it's one thing where the Pacers double him, and we saw this earlier in the series where he just was not a factor offensively until late in the game. It looked like he didn't even want to be on the court, but knew he had to be on the court. And I actually don't think he did. TJ McConnell was having such a good game, especially when Tyrese Haliburton was off the court. The Pacers, they went down big in the first half, and TJ McConnell single-handedly brought this team back with just some of his high IQ plays, throwing it off defenders, getting his team pumped, re-energizing his team. Some of the plays just getting an offensive rebound, or basically knocking down threes when everyone knows he's not a great 3-point shooter. They leave him open. They dare him to shoot. By the way, he takes forever to shoot these threes. It's like, wait and then shoot it. But, I think I think Rick Carlisle should have went with TJ McConnell down the stretch of this game. I really do. I know Tyrese Haliburton is the face of this team, but it's the NBA Finals. If they lose this game, and they probably still would have lost this game, for sure. And if you lose this game, Rick Carlisle is probably going to get a lot of hate. Maybe he won't actually. Maybe, the media will be like, yeah, I see how bad Tyrese Haliburton was. It was actually the right move to go to TJ McConnell, but we'll never know. But I think you have to have if you're a coach and you see your players hurt, despite it being the final, and you see your star players hurt, in fact, can you have the audacity to go to, a guy off the bench who is really just an energy and vibes guy? Yes, he's a great offensive rebounder. He makes some timely plays. He can knock down a three here or there. He's a great mid-range shooter. But he is on the bench for a reason, right? These bench guys, they're on the bench for a reason because they don't make these performances consistently. That's why you're on the bench. And, I don't know if TJ McConnell would have showed up in the fourth quarter. But I really think that, that could have been a way to basically, not that he's gonna, go up against Lou Dort and perform, but I think he could get you a rebound here and there. He can be an option. You can't leave him wide open, even when he's shooting a three. You can't leave him open. You don't put your best defender on him, most likely. So he's going to have a weaker defender. Not that any OKC defender is weak, but he's going to have a weaker defender. And so maybe, instead of having Tyrese Haliburton out there doing nothing, you could go through TJ McConnell because he can be used, the weaker defender. He could be used in screens, which I think, that can work. That could have, it could have sparked this team because it felt like as Tyrese Haliburton basically, I don't know, like sort of faded out of this game. I don't know if that's the right word, but like sort of left the game mentally, emotionally, in terms of his production. Obviously, he's still on the court. You just needed someone to get this team basically out of the shooting slump that they were having, out of the sort of the turnovers, just throwing the ball away. You had to get something to jumpstart this team, get them going again, and I just think TJ McConnell could have been that guy. But, I'm going to pick the Thunder in game 6. I believe that I just think, and I think it's going to be a blowout too, because if Tyrese Haliburton is hurt or, they don't get an out of this world shooting performance, the Thunder defense is just so good. When Jaylen Williams has it going like he did tonight, yesterday, I thought this was one of his best games of all time. 40 points as a 23-year-old in the NBA Finals. Plus, the Thunder, they don't miss a free throw, right? The Pacers, they missed tons of free throws early in this game when it was still a close game. You have to take advantage of every free point you get because there are not going to be many of them. You're not going to get many points. When you get a free throw, when they Thunder foul you, you have to take advantage of it. And there's no way you could win if you're the Pacers when you don't have at least the second and third best players on the court, right? Shai, I've talked about this before. Shai is going to be the number one player at all times, most likely, when he's on the court. But you cannot let Jaylen Williams or Chet Holmgren be the second and third options. You, Pascal Siakam, and Tyrese Haliburton have to be 2 and 3 for your team to have a chance. And Tyrese Haliburton wasn't even the 10th best player on this court. And Pascal Siakam, he has been in a rough shooting slump over the last couple of games, and he's gotten his scoring numbers, but it's been at a very inefficient level, and too many turnovers for this team. But yeah, I'm gonna move on to Kevin Durant. I believe that we're gonna do a full reaction to the Game 6, whether the Thunder win or not, or Game 7. But I'm gonna pick the Thunder. I think I'm gonna pick them by 20 because I just think we saw this in all the close-out games throughout the playoffs, whether it be Game 7, Game 5, Game 5, Game 4 in the first series. The Thunder just, in these games, just go to a whole new level in the second half, blow these teams out, and basically slam the door shut. So that's what I'm expecting. It's going to be close throughout the first half. The Pacers are going to put up a fight, but if Tyrese Haliburton is injured and he doesn't have it going, there is not a chance in the world that this game even stays close. They're going to play. Maybe Rick Howell will go with TJ McConnell, but I just think it depends how quickly they go to TJ McConnell, and if TJ McConnell can play in the moment and play that many minutes, could TJ McConnell replace Tyrese Haliburton's minutes if he is unable to play or can't play well at all? So we'll see. But as for Kevin Durant, the three teams that Shaw's reported are Miami, the Rockets, and the Spurs. Kevin Durant obviously wants to go to New York. I don't know why. If you're New York, you wouldn't try and make a trade, even if you have to give up two players for the price of one, because I just think Kevin Durant is on a whole new level, better than Karl-Anthony Towns, better than Mikal Bridges, better than the two combined, or whoever else you give up. Your defense is not going to get any better with Kevin Durant or keeping it as the same. So it's not like that's going to get worse. You're going to get better offensively, I think, because Cat, he goes through these stretches where he just is a non-factor out there. And Kevin Durant, you're going to get the scoring. That's something he's going to bring every game, no matter what. And you have Jalen Brunson as a leader, so you don't need that side of him. So I just think Kevin Durant would work perfectly in New York. But New York, they want to basically be stubborn about it and basically get back at Kevin Durant for him not coming to New York 4 years ago or whatever it was when he chose Brooklyn instead. But, the Heat, the Rockets, the Spurs. Why would he go to the Heat? Miami. I don't think that team's ready to win anyway. Even if you could, if you can keep Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero around him, yeah, I think that team could be a contender, especially in the Eastern Conference where there's so many teams banged up, Celtics included. The Pacers look like the best team out there right now in the East. Magic made a good trade, but they still need to get some more offense. So yeah, you could become a contender there. But I don't think that you could keep Bam and Hero if you get Kevin Durant. I think the Suns are going to want a Tyler Hero at the very least. I don't know. Maybe you're giving up Wiggins and some other. You'd have to give up so much. You'd have no depth around that team. And we've seen Big Three don't really win in the NBA in these days. But as for the Spurs, that's the best team to go to. A team that is ready to win now, right? You have Wemby, you have De'Aaron Fox, you have Chris Paul, who can, is aging out, but he can still be, a facilitator. So I think that team would immediately be contenders in the West, assuming Wemby comes back healthy. But as for the teams like the Rockets, Kevin Durant would have to come in and be expected to be the leader on the team, be the highest scorer, be the guy who, comes up clutch in every moment and carries his team. And I don't know if Kevin Durant wants that. I think Kevin Durant wants to, just come and play the last, how many years it is, uh, for fun. Doesn't want to be the star, or he wants to be the star. Well, he doesn't want to be, the main guy everyone's talking about. He wants to just come and be on a team that's already ready to win, and he could just play alongside and put up numbers and not have a worry in the world. And that's the Spurs, right? Because you have the three guys already there. The Rockets, they don't. They don't have, their defense is good, so it wouldn't be a defensive problem if Kevin Durant came there. But you wouldn't get, you wouldn't have great scoring around him, right? He would be he would be. It would be demanded upon him that he comes and delivers each and every night as the main guy. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, follow on social media. We will be back live after Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And until next time, go Celtics.
It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured.